professionally, I'm just happy that I'm happy that it's working because, we talked about this last show of
Yeah.
comedy in different countries. Because if
Hmm.
I'm in Ireland, I got to do like the dumb American set. And if I'm in America, well, I can do the dumb Irish set. But I think that the stuff that flies here is just different. I'm interested in watching this, and really and truly, I want to come over there and do some sets. So
No, hell
I
yeah.
don't have
Not,
anything prepared, but I'm ready.
no, we
Other
will
than
write
that,
some.
other than not being prepared, I'm ready.
Sorry, what was that?
This is the safest white guy in the room. I look like half the people's dad at this point. So these are
Hmm.
my intimidating glasses.
Really?
I just wear cheap dollar store glasses the rest of the time. So, then I really look like everybody's dad. How you doing, man?
Good. Hectic, but good. Burning the midnight oil on both ends is what I think ended up happening.
It eventually catches up with you. I don't know if anybody's told you that yet.
Oh, Sean, it happened like this afternoon. I was just sitting and working, and I've fallen asleep for like 30 minutes and not even noticed.
You're snoring and everybody else is still working.
Uh-huh.
Well, I've been doing that for a while, and then when I got back from my vacation, I thought everything would slow down, and it kind of has, but kind of hasn't, because I don't know if we have this election coming up in
Hmm.
a few. So hey, so here's what I did today. I was making bread. I made three different kinds of breads. For those of you who don't know, I do that every day, and I listened to the ads on YouTube because my hands were dirty. So you know how you always just click to go
Skip.
by them. Do you know some of those people talk for 10 minutes?
Oh, okay. So have I told you my theory that anytime you go to a new country, just listen to YouTube and see the ads playing? That's what they're selling to the general public. And those ads sometimes I've ended up with an ad which was like 15 minutes long and it just kept going.
Right. And I was like, so maybe they don't know the courtroom drama deal of who's ever talking is losing. So
Mhm.
get point, sell your product and move on. And you've done marketing. I've done marketing most of our adult lives here. And you just go, I don't know if you're aware the American public can only pay attention for 15 seconds. And
Mhm.
that's it. And even I was sitting there, one of them was Chuck Norris telling me about gut health. And you know who I don't want gut health from? The guy with the $8 haircut and the shitty dye job. Famous for when that is what all I just can't see anything beyond that other
Mhm.
than it's really, really, really white with terrible dye. And shouldn't he have enough money to get a decent hairdresser?
You would think so. Like even our ads are kind of like gone to like old folks who I didn't know were still Bollywood actors, and they've all of a sudden showed up, and I'm like, oh my God, I thought you died.
Uh, so I did listen to like a 20-minute speech from an AI version of Denzel Washington, and it was pretty dang close.
Ah.
And if you or I listened to it and couldn't tell, I
Mhm.
don't know. Person does.
But
Didn't you didn't you think AI was going to be a bigger deal in this election? Because it really hasn't turned out. There's so much misinformation. AI doesn't even matter.
to be honest with you, I don't think you and I are interacting with the people who are actually affected by the AI graphic art.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because I guess what I do is I lump the people up that don't know who they're voting for yet as they live in Dumbfuckistan, and
Hmm.
there's nothing to help them. If you can't look at, I don't think there's been a greater disparity in two candidates in the history of the United States. I am not sure
Hmm.
that that's where you go. Well, okay, which one am I going for here? I don't know. They looks about the same.
Hmm. By the way,
Uh,
do you know advertising, how much it's changed from when you did it, when I did it, and now? Where I got a notification on our YouTube channel because of our professional dashboard thingy. Make your first 3 seconds count.
okay.
So it's only 3 seconds, Sean, not even 15 seconds.
Instead of so do we just have to go, hey, hey, watch modern day ads on television, and I'm totally okay with them, but I don't understand random, but I'm sure that's how my parents felt about ads that we made that were these great photos and then at the end had one word.
Hmm.
But I don't know what works anymore. I know my kids watch their phones seemingly incessantly.
Yeah.
And so I don't know what hits them or not. So I'm like, my oldest son, Gabriel, doesn't buy anything. Like, he's the worst consumer ever.
Hmm.
But he's been that way since a little kid. He just didn't want anything. Like, he didn't want a phone, any of the normal stuff that other people have. He never wanted. We bought it. He was the first kid, so he got the best clothes and stuff. It just never cared.
Here, I think advertising is basically like looking at ads in other countries and stealing that idea.
Right. Yeah, I could see that.
Did you get
But am
frozen?
I?
Oh,
I
wait.
know my mute button came on for some reason. Whenever I remove one of your stupid ear deals, it mutes whatever's on. It's got a mind of its own, and it's inside my head. This is everything science fiction told me not to ever wear.
Hmm. Do you know why
And
I
here's
stopped? I stopped wearing them
what
because I read somewhere that it's kind of fucking with your brain, and I'm already
it's
doing
killing
enough
your brain
damage.
cells. Right. And I tell this to people that work with me that have them in all night long.
Hmm.
Look, so there's an electrical charge that comes through here. There's no way to say there's not. It's hooked up to a battery. The
Yeah.
battery gets plugged into the wall. You've put them inside your brain.
Hmm.
And there is some charge that's going off. I don't mind doing it for 30 minutes with you,
Yeah.
but I still wear, this is what I wore when I was walking the dog this morning. You
Okay,
know,
I wear
these ones
those,
have yeah,
but the only
right.
problem is I get caught up on random shit when I'm walking by.
And it sticks to them. I know, but
Oh.
they only cost $2, so it isn't like you can't get a new set. Here's the deal with these ones. They don't have any grit to them. So
Hmm.
like they fit in my ear just fine, but I'm always thinking they're falling out. Like I don't understand this. I do not understand how we went from the simplest, most effective thing ever to the most complicated thing with its own mind inside my brain because I put it there. But it really does, Deepak, the sound's better. I mean, the
Hmm.
sound is amazing on these. And when I'm doing stuff like this, so I've got microphones ordered. A friend of mine bought some cordless mics that worked out incredibly well. So I bought a set, but it hadn't shown up yet, or I'd be using them today. So
My cheap ass bought like a wired microphone, like a lapel one,
yeah,
that
right.
just plugs into my phone so
Yeah.
that I have the audio file separate, which was the easiest thing to
So
do.
yeah. So can you still hear while you're doing it? It's just it's
It's
just
just
the
the mic.
voice.
Just
Okay.
voice.
How's it sound?
Really good, Sean. Like it's incredibly clear, almost like news report type thing.
Right. Well, you do have. I don't want to give you a compliment here because I don't want people to think that we like each other, but you
Oh yeah.
do have the perfect BBC announcer voice. I mean, you're as good as it gets. And I have British cousins, and they don't
Mhm.
have that good a one. Hey, let me ask you something. I know I've wandered off track with Chuck Norris and everything. Let's. You appear to be Are you actually like? Is your comedy career appear to be working? Is that? Am I seeing that as correct? Because the photos look legit. I don't know if you faked them or not.
How do you fake that, Sean? At times, have you noticed
You
that?
know damn good and well how you can fake.
No, but have you noticed that there are times in my set where the audience laughs at the wrong part because I thought something else was funny?
Isn't that a bitch when that happens? And then
Mhm.
you got to go, okay, I need to take a second right there next time I do it and let them laugh. Because, you just start talking and you're like, do I keep going? Hey, thank you. Awesome. But it sounds good professionally. I'm
Mhm.
just happy I'm happy that it's working because, we talked about this last show of
Yeah.
comedy in different countries. Because if
Mhm.
I'm in Ireland, I got to do like the dumb American set. And if I'm in America, well, I can do the dumb Irish set. But I think that the stuff that flies here is just different. I'm interested in watching this, and really and truly, I want to come over there and do some sets. So
No, hell
I
yeah.
don't have
Oh.
anything prepared, but I'm ready.
No, we
Other
will
than
write
that,
some.
other than not being prepared, I'm ready. Okay, so let's talk about something that has to do with this.
Mhm.
So, Deepak, unfortunately, not unfortunately, he worked with one of my sons for a while, or my son worked for you for a while. It's the way I need to say that. You didn't work together. Kyle was an employee. And my son always wanted to go do stand-up. And I said, right, but here's the thing, your friends aren't going to be there and they're not going to think you're funny. So since you're still doing it and I used to do it, I don't want to be the one that explains this because it's 30 years old. Can you explain the difference between your friends thinking you're funny and girls that think you probably have money, so they're giggling at your jokes? And the reality of going up on stage and people looking at you going, yeah, that's not funny.
Oh, that's the scariest part of it, because you don't understand. Like, say, there are friends of mine who think they can do this because their friends told them I'm a hoot at parties. I'm like, no, you're not a hoot. Maybe at a party in a small group, or maybe the dudes who are standing there like you, so they're laughing. That's about it.
Yeah.
But it's not really that, because you don't just sit down. You're not talking to like one set of audience. Each of them have their own background, so you need to make sure that the joke hits, and if the first one doesn't, like part of the room, you'll have to do the other joke where the other part of the room kind of laughs and kind of like, okay, he's not that bad type thing. It is way more like, I still get super nervous about this.
Right. What I would say is it's nuanced. So, and I know we talked about this last time, but I'll just cover it real quick. I did a lot of rural areas. So I'm in rural Iowa, which are farmers and ranchers, and they don't laugh out loud, but then would come compliment you after the show when you just thought you bombed. I mean, I literally would come off and go, am I still getting paid? Jeez, because I was getting paid very well, which was great. I mean, no complaints for it, but I couldn't tell whether I did well. Now, in front of college crowds, those kids come drunk, high, ready to have fun, easy to knock it out of the park. It really is. All you got to do is be outrageous, and generally you can have a good night. But I found the rural areas just nearly impossible to read. Like when I'm on stage performing and I'm looking, and they're all looking at me like this, and at the end they're like, man, you were fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's usually like the quiet Indian uncle who's sitting in a corner who actually will come and be like, nice job, it was really good. I'm like, what the hell? You were sitting there quietly and I was fuming in my head going like, that fucker's still not laughing.
Oh, yeah. The only time I've ever felt myself sweat was up in the upper Midwest. And I think it was like Iowa City or a place called Kenosha, Wisconsin. I don't remember which one, but I actually felt sweat coming off my forehead. And when you can feel it, it's real sweat. And it was because I was nervous that they weren't having fun. Yeah. And then I would get caught up on somebody who yawns, like in the middle of my deal, rather than realizing they probably had a long night, kids didn't sleep, work sucked, whatever the deal is. I'd be like, shit, okay, I wasn't hitting with them. And that took me a while to get rid of that.
Yeah. Say, if things go well, on November 15th and 16th, I will be doing a show in Mumbai.
In Mumbai?
So, if that is going to be a
show I can't travel over there during Christmas.
I know. It's a 30-minute...
Or the hot season.
Yeah, you'll have to come
do either one.
Say, January, February would be good, because it's still cool.
What's the coldest time?
January.
Okay. I'm not against that. All right.
Yeah.
I got to see how much money I got left. Okay. Well, we're still tallying up the last trip and going, okay, here's what you owe. And we're getting there.
That's fun.
Oh, but hey, man, it was a blast. It wasn't expensive. We're just trying to, when it's weird because like if you and I went somewhere, I'd go, hey, mine was 3,500, yours is 3,500. We go, okay. Nothing's that simple.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I did want to ask you this question. So you have started and run a lot of businesses over the years.
Yes.
Which
is why I look like this. Sorry.
So when you're getting close to launch, has it always been where something new pops up that is kind of going to fuck up the entire thing type thing all the time?
Okay, so when people ask me for free advice that they never take, I'm going to give everybody the free advice that nobody listens to. If nothing breaks before you open, like seriously, if something doesn't go wrong, and I mean like wrong. So we're getting ready to open a restaurant. There's a large one with about 150 seats in it. 2 days before we opened, 8 inches of water in the whole place. We had a closet that somebody had done some homemade plumbing in there, and it all came unglued right before we opened. I knew that restaurant was going to be successful after we got it all cleaned up and all that stuff. If nothing goes wrong, you better watch out. That is making you too comfortable. Like, if I have money still in the bank, the business probably isn't going to make it. I need to be down to my last like $30. It's just like, oh, am I going to get? Because that shows whether you have grit or not. And I really mean this. And I know people will be like, that's stupid. You can do this and this. And you're a finance guy. And I would look at it and go, but what makes somebody hustle? The fear of bankruptcy, imprisonment, or starvation? Because if you lied on your loan forms, which most people do, it can be trouble if you can't pay it back. You don't have to worry about the mafia. They'll put you in jail.
That's the weird part, right?
Was that too long of an answer?
No, that was perfect. But I was thinking about it, and someone was telling me, like, when we were in finance, I used to tell guys who I wanted them to sell some shares of their firms to raise capital. I would tell them it's better that you own like 10% of something that's worth something.
It works.
You do it. But the weird part is the advice that I get about, like, say, our podcast or stand-up is the exact opposite. Where they're like, don't let anyone come. Even if you both have like 100% of it, you have full control of doing what you'll want to do. And I was like,
so
okay.
You and I have creative control, but we're also both grown-ups. That's the difference. We're both grown-ups and go, all right, well, let me see if we can make that funny. And then if it's not funny, we'll just perform it poorly so it'll never happen again. I mean, I am always interested in other people's ideas unless they fuck up my work. Excuse my language. But if it messes up my work, I'll give you what you asked for. It's your money.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Anytime any new launch, and I've done at least 30 in my life at this point, maybe launches. I think each one takes like a year off your life. And so you don't want to do them as many as me because, I mean, I'm feeling it. Although I'm healthy as hell. Who would have thought? Yeah. But the challenge with a launch, especially if it's something you're good at, is your arrogance gets you. I already know what I'm doing. You're kind of better off being stupid going into it and enjoying the surprises. Because, the surprises are never enjoyable, but you go, oh, okay, they warned me this was coming. But I can't tell you how many people I've told all this stuff to, and they just don't follow any of my advice because it's free. If I charge, they'll listen. But if I do it for free, they don't listen at all.
That's the weird part, right? There is one of these startups I'm working with, which I was telling you about, where the investors basically made us move from a platform for everybody to a platform only for people who can afford like fancy cars and a chauffeur.
Those guys have everybody chasing their business.
Yeah.
Everybody is chasing their business. So it's called a look at me girl. Do you remember in high school, you'd have some girls that were pretty. So there was no reason to behave that way, but they just needed more and more attention. Yeah. Well, that more and more attention actually made boys think they were a little slutty. Which in my case, I liked that. A lot of other people don't like that. So you get into that look at me thing. And if you're already driving a Bentley, nothing's impressing you.
Yeah.
And the 5 friends that you're trying to impress by driving the Bentley don't care because they have a car equally as nice. And they don't really like it either. They're just trying to impress you. So I've been really well off and I've been broke, but I've never gone bankrupt. But I've been a lot of in between everything there. And I'll drive an immigrant car. I don't care anymore. I mean, I just don't know what happened. I just don't care. But I'm a good target because I have money because I don't spend any. I just don't spend any money. I'm terrible for the economy.
Yeah, Sean, you're the one who's just holding all of it and not.
Right. It's really true. And there isn't that I'm sitting on some mass of it. I just don't spend any money. I mean, So I have this friend of mine and I said, I have bought everything in life I've ever wanted to buy.
Hmm.
And so for somebody your age, and you've heard this out of me 20 times, none of that stuff will make you happy. Acquiring it makes you happy. Owning it is a pain. Like, who doesn't want to own a boat? People that own boats. You know who want to own boats? People that don't own boats.
Yeah, that is perfectly put.
Right. I mean, it's owning restaurants. I've always made money at it. Very, very, very few people can make money at this.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just look at it and go, well, quit drinking in your own place and quit buying your friends all their shit. I mean, it's pretty simple. Right? And if you're hitting on girls at your own bar, you need to go to another bar.
Yeah. This is like business basics 101.
Right. Yeah, don't shit where you eat. I mean, that's business number one. I literally, the things that take people down in my industry, and I would say now that you appear to be doing entertainment for a job now, that industry, drugs, booze, gambling, women, or men, whichever way you go, those are the things that take you down in public businesses. Because really, like, stand-up's the world's best thing. You don't have an inventory. You just have stuff in your head that people pay you to say while you eat and drink for free and stay in a free, crappy hotel. I mean, that is the world's best business. You just show up, get money, and leave. And then everybody likes you generally. Not bad.
Hopefully.
Right. Hopefully. Or, you get one cycle and you're done. One of those deals. So where are you playing that is so important, since we're probably running out of time?
Oh, we will talk about this because I have to confirm the stupid contract that they have to get into place. Because I think we're recording both nights and I'm just putting it out on YouTube.
Okay. Do you want to hear a funny recording story? So I'm recording in Kansas City, Missouri, and there's a place that I did Monday night, open mic night. And I thought, I'll just come in on a Wednesday and fill the room and do my recorded show. And this is back before people recorded their whole show. So for those of you who don't understand, in stand-up, you got to have a tape to send to clubs to hire you. And so that's what I was filming. Get this whole film crew in, and I'm dating my kid's mom at the time. Can I
interrupt you for a second?
Yeah.
Wait. I had this question about film crew for the sole reason that they were saying something about 3 cameras and the crowd being mic'd. Just remind me to ask you about that.
Okay. So I did a 3-camera shoot. I didn't mic the crowd because they're usually loud enough at a comedy show. But with cordless mics now, you can just tape them under their table.
Yeah.
I mean, or clip them onto something on the table. It's probably not a bad idea, but who's gonna adjust the sound?
Yeah, if they start talking amongst themselves, that's going to
override. Your whole show's over at that point. So my kid, the lady I'm dating at the time, her dad dies literally the day before I'm filming.
Oh, wow.
And so I go, I will come to Oklahoma to go to all the stuff tomorrow. And so I have to record just like you did for 2 days. So I record the first day. I'm out all night having a party with some friends and some debauchery and the whole 9 yards. And next night, same deal. We get done. The guy loses 10 minutes of the tape. He didn't go in and change the tapes out at 35 minutes. Back then, you didn't have cards or any of the stuff you guys have. Lost 10 minutes of it. And it was a good solid 10 minutes. So my tape I ended up sending to clubs was only 30 minutes. So I could not be the hour-long headliner. I could only be the 40-minute show guy. That 10 minutes cost me a fortune. And then I showed up down here for the wake and everything else, having not slept basically for 2 days having filmed. And I looked pretty messy because I probably was still up from 2 nights ago. Yeah, it was brutal.
No offense, but when white people have a rough couple of nights, it really shows on your faces compared
to oh my God, it really does. Yeah. So here's the deal on the mics. If you've got, I mean, you're gonna shoot with iPhones? I assume there's no reason to bring in big old cameras. I mean, you can do 3 iPhones.
To be honest with you, I think they're bringing in their cameras. I didn't ask. I just left it alone.
But mic in the crowd, just if you know who the loudest person is there, that usually doesn't talk to the person next to him. Because you know what you don't want in the back? Is that. And if they start talking, if they could mute the individual mics, it'd be nice. But, I've seen people do a 6-shot, well, because I did it as a debate, and they had 6 different iPhone cameras.
Oh, wow.
But we were only mic'd by one solid mic that went into a sound system. It didn't go into the phones.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty neat. And the guy ran it like a TV panel, like you would have had at the BBC, and I had a Cablevision. You're like all off a cheap mic, cheap iPhones.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So, well, it'll be interesting to see how the crowd reacts. That's one of those.
Oh, yeah. See, I have like almost a month to get ready, so it should be, knock on wood, should be fine.
That gives you, do you just go to every open mic place now working on new material? Yeah.
The only thing is that I'm going to come to the point where I'm kind of bored by my own fucking set. That is when I guess you record.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so I think that what I would say on that, having been a theater guy originally, by the time you get ready to open a play, you need to be kind of bored with it. And then you get in front of a live audience and it, all the fun comes back. You'll be fine, dude. You haven't done TV before. So, I wish I could be there to heckle you. That would be so much fun.
Sean, here I've actually told one of the club owners that when you're here, we both will do a set on stage together.
And heckle each other. I'd be down for it.